Does anyone remember when you were a kid and after a long week of school, you went out with your family and you passed by the local GameStop, and on front of the GameStop, you saw this big poster of Sora, Donald, and Goofy all standing stoically on a poster, and you said, I don't know what that is, but I love Goofy and I love whatever's happening here. These cool looking characters. I want to get this game. Mom, can we go get this game after we leave this restaurant? And she says, we'll go take a look. So you go take a look, and sure enough, there's that $60 fresh Kingdom Hearts saying new on the tag, and you go, okay, well, I can't afford this, and I haven't done enough chores to afford this, so Mom, hey, can we come back tomorrow? I turn in all my no old games, get the money from my old games to pay for my new game. And she says, yeah, sure, you can do that. I remember that happening exactly with Dead Space, the original Xbox 360 Platinum Hits version, still in here with the guide. It's crazy. I didn't even think to check for the guide, but I remember that happening with this game and saying, this is something I want to experience, and then little did I know that I would be experiencing the biggest horror game I've ever dealt with in my entire life, and I couldn't even get past the first level because it was so scary. But Sony is trying to get rid of that with their newest announcement that they're getting rid of discs. Gaming discs, physical media is going away. They're going the way of only digital, where you can only download your games. I can only think of what brought this on was the reception to how many digital downloads GTA 6 got versus physical pre-orders, and they saw that statistic and they said, okay, I think we can do away with disc. And they've been studying that statistic for a while now. GTA 6 was just one of those gaming cornerstone places where it was a jumping off point, and Sony said, you know what, we haven't had enough bad press, let's pull the trigger here. How do we one up Xbox with bad press these days? Well, yeah, let's do that. So it sucks, in my opinion. I don't think it's the right move. You know, I know it's not but also I think it was something that was bound to happen. I know it's not the popular opinion, and I feel like I'm not taking the side of gamers at heart, but honestly, I mean, what did we expect when half of my digital library, I can't tell you the last time I personally went by a game, but I would like to take into consideration the people who do still buy physical media and collect physical media. I think that's important. I think for the people who are really into that is integral to the structure of gaming as a whole. When haven't we gone out to buy something, you know? And there's the collectors we have to think about as well. And another big point to think about is how, you know, like gaming boutiques and places that sell used games and they make a living through that, how is that going to affect them when, you know, any game from January 2028 onward isn't going to be released disc? Maybe those premiums go up, those games become more expensive because they're no longer there, they're no longer physical. Or maybe they go out the way of dinosaurs and just become extinct. And I'd hate for that to happen because I think there's a place for everyone in gaming, and physical media is one of those things. For my last point, I'd really like to discuss how when we buy a game digitally, do you understand that we as consumers only own the license to that game? And at any point, that license can be revoked from PlayStation or Xbox. So, for example, if Xbox, which could have very well happened, if Xbox wakes up and they say, we're shutting down, there's no more Xbox store, there's no more Xbox, it's gone, it's done. You know, what happens to our digital games then? Do they move them to some sort of archived library where we could re-download them and play them? Does it stay, does the Xbox market stay in a state of perpetual like freeze, where everything from that point onward it's gonna stay that way, and there just will be no updates? But new media won't come out on that digital game. You know, I'll have to switch to a PlayStation, or I'll have to switch to Nintendo Switch. So we also got to think about that, like ownership, and I really hope there's some laws that are being looked at in Congress or something like that, where they're like, hey, this is a flagrant, what's it called? This is not okay that this is happening, and we need to make some laws against something like this happening, because this is serious. Because if Sony succeeds in this, Xbox will do it, and Nintendo Switch will do it, and I just don't want a future where something like that exists. I would love to own, like, if I really like a game, I go out and buy the physical version. Dead Space is one of those games. Assassin's Creed is one of those games. Like, it's just in my nature just to do that. So I'm curious what you guys think about it. I'd love to hear your opinions. Of course, keep the comments open, keep the comments critical. Sorry, I'm sorry, I just woke up, and I always have a lot on my mind. I don't do a script. So if anyone's like, wow, this guy can never get to his point accurately, it's because I don't write a script. I just click record and I go off the cuff of what I feel like talking about. So with that, see you guys next week.
Go time, hands up high for the pack tonight. We ain't done yet, we're just out of sight. Another stream down, another goal in sight. Manly dogs gon' shine when it's game time. Yeah, I don't stop when the camera fade. Champions are built when nobody's paid. While they sleeping, I'm sharpening steel. Every new stream, another chance to kill. Got dreams too big for a single night. Got goals too high for a single fight.